Welcome to the Stanford Lee Show. This week, why Egypt exiled its royals. We need to talk about King Farouk because and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but he was very interesting. An Egyptian king. He was king of Egypt and Sudan. And he had a very opulent lifestyle. On my show, I like to have some anti-heroes, and in some ways he is an anti-hero because I guess his lavish wealth and some of his excesses were really offensive to people, particularly as we go on in the story and I share how he ended up being exiled. Well, he started out at a young age inheriting this empire, and he was, they say that he was raised like from the age of 4 years old. He was eating caviar straight out of the can. And he was known for his lavish meals, like course after course of clams and quail, and opulent meals that could go on for hours, literally. I mean, hey, if one can have that lifestyle, that's great. I think he kept it off in his younger years a lot better, and he was considered a very handsome man in his youth, known for having a lot of ladies and mistresses, but he was married a couple times. And, well, how did that go? Well, he did have some heirs to his throne, but he wasn't able to pass on that because of being exiled, I guess. So what's interesting about this character? Well, think about being a king in the 20th century. It's like we're already kind of entering into this modern world. Being royalty in a time where, you have heads of state and prime ministers and presidents. It's a totally different thing, and I can tell you some anecdotes that will explain what a character he is. So he had these interests that he would just indulge himself in. One was hunting, the other was womanizing, and those kind of speak for themselves. But imagine having a curious habit of pickpocketing. It's like not only was he a pickpocket, but he was a trained pickpocket. He actually had somebody teach him how to be a thief. And it is a skill set, actually. And he was able to use this to great effect at one of his state parties in which he invited many noted guests and dignitaries, one of them including Winston Churchill. He came with a particular pocket watch, which was an heirloom in the family, apparently. And the King Farouk got word of this and was thinking, maybe I can try this. And so Churchill is causing a ruckus, and people are looking around like, what's going on? And he was kind of getting angry and threatening people. And the story is by the end of the evening, he did actually produce the pocket watch, but he had many instances like this. He even stole a ceremonial sword at a funeral one time, and the list goes on and on of just like childish, stupid things. I wonder if he actually thought of them as pranks. I think he did, and in a sense, I guess they're funny, but I mean, you really just can't, go steal somebody's pocket watch. It's just, terrible. But one of his other indulgences was cars. He just loved cars, and he had like more cars than he could even drive. The thing that he would do so that, okay, you know how we kind of like are, well, should I get the red car or should I get something kind of a little more subdued because I'm kind of like trying to keep my insurance good and I don't want to attract, tickets. So he would just he had a decree that all of his cars would be red and nobody else could have red cars so that they would know it was the king and he could speed as he liked to. And they say he was a reckless driver and even had a kind of a squad following him, which included an ambulance, which I guess kind of to clean up after him or be a safeguard in case he got injured driving. But incredible. And some of these Rolls Royces exist in collections today, and it'd sometimes give them out as gifts. They say that during World War II, while the Allies were trying to elude enemy detection and conserve energy, they had like a lights out thing, you know about that. He would actually, like at the palace, just keep all the lights blazing, even while he was asleep. So he had no regard or etiquette regarding things like that. I guess politics are, pretty complex, especially with Egypt at the time. But his excess and his strange behavior and habits and the burden that he placed upon the people, it also affected the morale of his military. So after a time, they decided to be done with him. So he did get exiled, and Nasser took power in the country. But he went to Capri, Italy, where he continued his lavish lifestyle of eating and drinking and womanizing. I don't know if he did as much thieving then, but they say that he just passed away after a very large meal. And they found in his collection pocket watch, rings, and I think like $150 by the time he died. He was also a great gambler too, so yeah, love him or hate him, I think that he was a person of his time and very interesting as a character. I did have kind of a tie-in with the music. We tell stories and we do music here, so it's I'd kind of looked around in the public domain for some songs, and I'm a big fan of like ska music and the band Madness, and they did a song about Night Boat to Cairo, which kind of had this, kind of vibe going on in it. I was looking around and found an old song that Sidney Bechet had done, and it goes back to the early 20th century. It was originally called Egyptian Rag, and I think the melody became Egyptian Fantasy, if you look at some recordings. But it has that same spirit of, you can kind of imagine exotic dancers or the desert or Egypt. It's a song that's been used in apparently in a lot of burlesque shows, I guess, kind of shake it a little bit. It's an exotic tune, and played by some klezmer bands as well. I really dig it, so I'd love to share that with you. Egyptian Fantasy. more about gear or some of the songs I'm releasing or merchandise, take a look at our page, look at our social media. And while you're there, if you like and subscribe, it really helps our channel. And I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time on the Stanford Lee Show.